Hello, everyone.
Hello. Today we are looking at 5 tribes.
The Djinns of Mancala.
All 5 of the tribes.
The Djinns of Mancala.
The Djinns of Mancala.
That's what
Apparently. This is Days of Wonder game. This is 2 to 4. I think it's 2 to 4 player. Set collection, and I have learnt a new phrase. I have learnt the phrase, oh, I've forgotten it.
Yes, Tim, you're right.
No.
Yes, we should have played this a long ago.
Mancala?
Mancala.
Mancala. Or Mancala. Mancala. This is that means the mechanic for moving your meeples around a board, like dropping off and picking up.
Dropping
off.
Yeah, you drop
Just
off
dropping
as
off.
you move along and then end on the last.
So I
spot,
feel like
yeah.
teacher's pet learning a new word today.
So yeah, this is a great classic.
He's been nagging me for ages to play this
Days
one.
Yeah, I have. Well, the thing is, again, with this one, it's such a kind of if you watch like a how to play or something like that on YouTube, it looks very imposing and very like, what is going on? There's so much going on, and there kind of is.
Kind of is.
But it's very well managed and it's very.
Again,
easy
it's
to
things
kind of
like if you land on this card, that means something. And if you land on this card, that means something else. But you don't have to learn all these things that they mean. Just what you land on.
The iconography is fairly intuitive, to be fair. So
let's
get to how it plays, and we'll see kind of what happens. So first thing about this game is that it's a variable board. So you've got a pile of tiles, and you lay them out in a sort of 5x6 grid, and that's just random. So you shuffle them, and they lay out, and that's the game board for that game, and it's different every time, obviously. And that matters really only in as much as there's a certain scoring thing that happens depending on the tiles around you. So that's how that would make a difference. But that's quite interesting. So you've got the tiles laid out, and then you've got a bag full of meeples, and you stick your hand in and draw out 3 meeples for each tile. So there's exactly the right number of tiles, meeples for the tiles. You draw them out randomly, and then you've got the board kind of ready to go. With 3 meeples of whatever colour on each tile.
Random.
Some might be 3 the same colour, and obviously 3 different colours, or 2 of one, whatever.
We know really all the examples.
Might be 1 of one colour, and 1 of another colour, and 1 of another colour.
Tim example Henley.
Red one. No. So that's your variable setup there, and that's different, obviously, randomly every time. And then down the side of the board, you've got a set of 9 goods. And these are available to collect when you land on a tile that says you can collect goods, or when you collect a merchant which allows you to collect goods, and the merchants are green ones. We'll get to that. And then you've also got a set of gins.
Gin? Like gin and tonic? No?
The gin.
No?
The gin.
Man.
The gin. Silent D. Gins.
Gin.
The Djinns of Mancala. So a gin is a
Sadly,
genie.
no tonic.
I don't know why a gin is a genie, but it is. So you have these gins available for purchase as well, and again that happens when you land on a certain tile that allows you to do that, and if you've got the right cost. And they give you special powers, and so like that's a whole nother layer, because they give you variable player powers every go. So you might get to stop someone assassinating your meeples, for instance, which we'll get to. Great special powers, and there are, I don't know, 30 different gins. I don't know them all, obviously, but there
There's
are
three out in one go, isn't it?
There's 3 out in one go.
Yeah.
Well, in a 2-player game at least. So that's your layout. You've got your goods, your tiles, your meeples, your gins ready and available, and then go.
Just thought. Also, we have the bidding platform out, really.
We have,
in case you weren't going to mention that.
No, yeah, right. I probably had forgotten that, but yeah. So the player turn order is bid for. If you're playing with 4 of you, you've just got one sort of. I don't know what it is. It's like a sort of a tower.
Yeah.
You've got one tower, and you bid to place your tower in
like
first
a mosque
place.
thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is actually one
One of these.
Yeah. And you bid to place that in first player order, but it costs quite a bit of money. You have some gold to start with, and you bid and pay that gold to be first player.
Yeah.
In a 2-player game, as we're playing, you have 2 towers, and you bid to go in first player, and then second, third, or fourth player. And you could literally have 2 turns in a row. You could be first player and second player, or
if you can afford it.
Yeah, if you can afford it.
Or if you really want to move first.
But there is a free slot as well.
be.
You can go for free if you want to just bid nothing. So you can go there. So once you've sorted out your player order, so in a 4-player game, 4 players differently. In a 2-player game, 2 goes
2
each,
each,
depending on whether it's in a row or 1 each. take it in terms of 2 for me, 2 for you.
Examples again. Listen out for these examples.
I do like to do examples. Anyway, so you've got your little towers on the turn order spot, and then you take your turn. So first player goes back to the auction sort of slot where you stick it there ready for next go. And then you take your turn. And the turn basically is you grab a set of meeples from a tile.
From any tile.
Any tile. In the beginning, it's just 3 meeples. So you grab 3, and then you drop one off, moving along a sequence of tiles. So if you've got 3 tiles, you can only drop one off, 1, drop one off, 2, and you land on the 3rd tile. The tile that you end on, you have to have a meeple of that colour on that tile, the one that you're in. So let's say, for instance, you have 3 red meeples. You pick them up, you drop off a red meeple, you drop off a red meeple, and the last tile you land on has to have a red meeple on it already because you've got a red meeple left in your hand. And then you pick up all the meeples of that colour on that tile. So if you move from a 3 meeple tile to a 3 red meeple tile to another 3 red meeple tile, you pick up 4 red.
Pick
meeples.
up all of them, yeah.
So yeah, depending on how many are on that tile of that colour that you end on, you pick that number of tiles.
Yeah. So you'll be leaving a number of tiles maybe on that one you land on, if they're different colours.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you go along, you're dropping off meeples. So some tiles will have in the end 5, 6, 7,
some have
meeples.
none, some have 7 or 8. Yeah.
So there's a lot, and then obviously you can pick up more meeples and move further away, and so on and so on. And the idea is that you're grabbing coloured meeples because the meeples do different things. So the white meeples give you 2 victory points at the end of the game. So if you just
they are elders. The elders.
You just store them up in your collection. 2 victory points at the end of the game. The yellow ones give you 1 victory point at the end of the game. They're called viziers, and so you've got elders and viziers that you're collecting.
They just
to gain victory points.
Collect them for points. Yeah.
The green ones are merchants, and they allow you to take the goods from the tile array there, 9 tiles. So if you had 3 meeples, 3 green meeples, you put them back in the bag and take 3 tiles.
It's like fish and cloth and
grain and so on.
resources.
Just normal resources. If you get a builder, that's the blue meeple, you score a victory point for every tile around the tile that you pick them up from that have got a blue victory points on. We'll get to the victory points on the tiles in a minute. So each tile has a victory point token on it, value. So if you pick up a blue meeple from a tile here, every tile that's around it that has a blue victory point indicator on it, you would score 1 point for that, times the number of blue meeples that you're
including the tile that you're on as well.
Including the tile you're on. So if you took 2 meeples and there were 4 tiles around you, that'd be 2 times 4, 8 points. Bang. And you just score that by taking gold. So the end there's not a score track.
Gold is points.
Gold is points. So so the more gold you have, they're 1 victory point each. So that's how you kind of claim your victory points in that situation. And then you chuck your blue merchants back in the bag. And then the final one is the red ones, and the red ones are assassins. And you can assassinate either another meeple off of another tile, depending on how far it is. You can assassinate 1 tile space away, or if you've got 2 red tiles, 2 red meeples, 2 tile spaces away. If you grab 3 red meeples, 3 tile spaces away, and so on.
Examples.
An example. But also, you can assassinate one of the viziers or elders
Not mine.
Your opponent has got in their array there in their collection. So that takes victory points away from them. They just go back in the bag. You don't get them. They get assassinated. So that's a great little sort of, just take that kind of aspect. If you get a red meeple, assassinate one of their yellows or whites. Brilliant. And that all goes back in the bag.
Yeah.
So that's the meeple kind of side of it. The other side of it is if you clear a tile, so completely take all the meeples off when you land. If let's say there were just 2 blue meeples and you end up on it and you take those, the tile becomes clear. You then put one of your coloured camels on that tile, and that is your victory points.
Claimed.
Whatever the victory points are on that tile, you claim those victory points at the end of the game. Ooh. Along the route of the game, you can still drop meeples off on that tile. It doesn't matter, and you can still pick them up as you sort of want to move to another tile, stuff like that. But you never lose that tile once you've got the camel on it. The other thing that happens with the tiles, when you end on a tile and you take your meeples and you grab whatever they do, either the points or
put your camel on.
Assassinate. No, before, irrelevant to the camel.
All right.
You also take the action that's on the corner of the tile. So let's say it's
you can pay.
You can pay to take 3 of the goods.
Yeah.
So you pay 3 gold to take one of the first 3 goods tiles. So that starts you with your set collection. And sets are worth more points the bigger they are.
Or you can pay meeples to get your gins.
Yeah, you can pay a white meeple, so the white elder. You can pay a white elder and another white elder to buy a gin, and the gins are a very
also the gins have points on as well as the special power, so it's worth buying them.
Lots going on in this game.
Lots going on.
So that's the sort of the root of the game really, is that you move your meeples, take them and do the action. If you clear the tile, put your camel on it. You also, irrelevant to putting the tile whether it's cleared, you do the action on the tile.
You can also put a little tree.
That's one of the actions. Yeah. So one of the actions is a palm tree. You place a palm tree on that tile. The other one is to place a village, like a little palace. You place that onto the tile. And those are worth 50 points if you claim that tile at the end of the game, or if you already got your camera on it.
It sounds like loads to think and remember, but you're told what you do at the time.
Yeah, it's all very obvious. So it doesn't the iconography is very, very sweet. Really works well.
If I explain this to my parents to play, they'd be like, "What?"
I'm sure now you're watching this thinking, "What?"
But when you actually play it, it makes a lot more sense. Yeah.
Literally move your meeples around
and do what you're told to do when you land on it. Yeah.
And then that's pretty much the game. And you just keep going until you either run out of meeples to move, or one of you have placed all your camels.
The camels, yeah.
So as soon as the last camel is placed, you play the last round, and then you score up your points by literally. If you've got a set of 5 of the goods, 5 goods gets you 21 points. 5 goods gets you 21 points. So if you've got 4 goods, it's 13 points or something like that. So the more goods you've got, they're worth more points at the end. So
that's your green meeples.
Yeah, that's your merchants where you're collecting the goods. And every time you use up the goods, you replenish them at the end of the round. The round is when you played your 4 goes, your 4 buildings, and then you bid again for your turnover. And you just keep doing that. The viziers, again, if you buy a vizier, they get replenished at the end of a round. Not viziers.
Gin. I was going to say, I was just thinking, gins. Like, you think...
Sorry. All these kind of Middle Eastern terms are overloaded. The gins. When you buy a gin, there's obviously a slot there.
Space,
when you do the end of the turn, you replenish that as well as the goods. And basically, the person with the most points, so gold counts as points, and the viziers and the elders.
And the tiles, you've got your camels on. Blah blah blah.
So all of that, you add that all up, and the one with the most points at the end wins. Yep. Yeah, very kind of straightforward.
And you get a little pad, don't you, to help with the scoring, because there's a lot of things you could score with.
Yeah, you could miss things quite easily. Yeah. But that's the game.
That's it.
Sounds simple. Very complicated. But it's not. So let's talk about it.
Well, the most complicated bit for someone playing it is, where do I go? Where do I start and where do I end up to get the best thing for me? Yeah. But I like that. I like that kind of, what should I do now?
It's not too much, is it?
I didn't feel AP. I was enjoying the AP.
Yeah. The very first go is a little bit kind of like, because obviously the board's completely fully populated, and there's not really there's not a big scoring chance at the beginning of the game. Further on in the game, there might be there's one meeple on a tile which has got 10 victory points on it. You're obviously going to try and end up on that tile, take that meeple, and claim that tile. So that's 10 victory points.
But it's also not. It's not a wrong move, really, is there?
No, not at all. No, but I'm saying early on in the game, there's not a massive scoring opportunity.
No.
You've got those tiles that you can see where you can make points.
But I like the fact that, I was trying to get on more goods, and you were kind of trying to get more of the assassins and things, weren't you?
Yeah.
So you can do different angles at it, which I quite like.
Different tactic to me, didn't you? I quite like that. You're right. It's a nice kind of.
Yeah, there's not a wrong move and a right move.
No.
Is there?
No.
Really?
And as the game,
there's better moves, obviously, and worse moves.
Yeah. As the game progresses, obviously some tiles will end up with more and more of a certain colour on it. So there might be a tile with 3 or 4 green ones on it, merchants, which will allow you to take all those kind of tiles in the goods collection section. Goods collection section.
Yeah. These views.
So that might be an obvious move. You want to end up on that green tile. Of course, the thing is, you have to have an opportunity to end up on that tile by moving from another tile and dropping off meeples. So it quite often happens you want to get that tile on those meeples, but there isn't a kind of valid move where there's only 3 meeples and they get you to the tile short, or there's 5 meeples that get you to the tile past it. It's unlikely to be the exact.
But then if you can't do that, I have my go, and suddenly it makes it possible because I've added another meeple here or there, and every single go changes what you can do.
Yeah, it really fluctuates, and it changes your tactics along the way.
Yeah,
because
it does.
Of that. Yeah, so you'll suddenly think, oh, I'm going to start collecting visitors now because
you've got to constantly be thinking about what you can do, but that's a positive, I think.
Yeah. The djinns make a really big difference. Those variable powers, when you start getting those, some of them are very, very powerful. You take the same thing every go. I can't think what they all are now because there's like 20 of them and something like that. But there's one that you got in the last game you played where it's called Boaz, the djinn Boaz. It's got a certain number of victory points, but you protected your viziers and elders from assassination the whole game.
Get away from me!
Every white and yellow tile that she collected in, she just stuck on this djinn, and it was protected.
Meeple.
I couldn't. I couldn't assassinate those meeples.
I was collecting all my elders up. Nice little pile of them. They had a nice little group going on.
Yeah, that was one of my tactics, was to keep.
Nice little conversations down here.
Yeah,
nice
really
and
good.
safe.
Whereas you could quite easily assassinate my meeples.
Yeah, I didn't assassinate many. I was not bothered about the assassins. I was more kind of getting the goods and getting the blue.
You would have done if you not got that protector on yours, because I'd have been doing it. You right, I'll do it back to you.
Yes.
But you were kind of oblivious to the fact that could be done in a way.
You were better at placing your camels because you would finish all your camels, and I still had like 5 camels to go.
I finished the game by placing all my camels. You're right. So and then that kind of won me the game, I think. So, but that was just
first time playing. Wasn't really aware.
Yeah. So, production.
Really enjoyed it there as well.
Yeah, production wise.
Really good.
Yeah, I mean, Days of Wonder, what do you expect?
Yeah.
Really lovely illustrations, really good, solid pieces, the camels, the meeples, the villages, the oases, the little palm
clear
trees.
Instructions, like the little things, the little symbols on the cards.
Yeah,
you kind of clearly know what you can do.
Yeah, the iconography is really clear. Everything about this game, fab. And it plays, I mean, it's quite long.
Yes.
Because as a 2-player game, you have to get rid of.
You've got a lot of meeples to get rid of. Yeah, that's true.
So was it 2-4? Yeah.
Can you not do like a smaller grid for a 2-player then?
It doesn't say so, but no, it doesn't. Well, maybe. Don't know. We'll try it. But yeah, fabulous game. Again,
yeah, I really liked
it. As per usual, we haven't chatted about our scores for this game.
No, you go first. I can judge.
I will say, this is kind of similar. Istanbul.
Yeah, I thought that. Well, it's the grid and the
Mancala thing.
Mancala. New word.
Yeah.
Must remember that.
And the variable board as well. Very similar.
And AP, but you don't need it. Don't need it because you know each card tells you what you're doing.
But it's a completely different game, so yeah, it's certainly not.
I think I prefer this.
Yeah, I do. I'm going to give this 8.5.
8.5.
Yeah, I really like this game. Yeah.
I think this is more friendly to mainstreamers or beginners than Istanbul. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's a bit easier to explain.
It's more, the thing about you get a meeple and that meeple does something. Whereas Istanbul, I remember it's all kind of you can buy
you're kind of
spices and it sounded a bit.
Position
and that thing about going into jail or whatever it was, going into prison.
That was kind of getting yourself into a position to do stuff in a little bit.
Yeah.
Not now. Yeah. This is kind of a bit more immediate. Do that.
Yeah. A bit more clearer, say from my family and something. I'd take this one over Istanbul.
Yeah.
Istanbul's good though. Don't. Not knocking Istanbul.
Oh, don't get it wrong.
Don't get me wrong. You did 8.5.
Yeah.
8.
Nice, 16.5. Quick math there. That's good.
Very quick math for you.
I was kind of running through.
But yeah, I really liked it. The AP didn't put me off.
No.
When you're laying it out, I thought it looks busy, but it kind of looks okay. Like doesn't look scary. I don't think.
It's pretty.
Well, the meeples everywhere.
Days of Wonder.
It's so pretty. There you go. I've said it.
That's what I wanted. Okay, so there you go. 16.5. 5 Tribes, Days of Wonder. I don't know how readily available it is, of course, because it's quite an old game now.
Is it?
Yeah. Get onto Board Game Geek or something and see if we can find second-hand copies. But definitely recommend this one.
Yes, definitely.
Up in our top 10.
And don't be worried about all the. If you watch how to play and it sounds confusing, you can still give it a go.
No. Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
Okay, so there you go. 5 Tribes, Days of Wonder. Thanks very much. We've enjoyed doing this one and we've enjoyed playing it, so thanks for asking us to do it. So check out our other channels. Give us a thumbs up and a subscribe. Not other channels, other videos, sorry. I know what I'm trying to say.
What channels have you got?
Well, I've got a few.
But tell us if you don't like it. Tell us if you agree with us. And what else we should play as well. We always like recommendations, as long as they're games that I'm going to like.
Something out of our board game collection. Brilliant. Thanks, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.